come on, man. He's on Genji
they're
right
putting
now.
June on it? No, Poro, why would you do this? I knew this was a possibility that maybe they would just... Poro does play a whole bunch of different heroes. Maybe he would flex to something else, but I'm still a little bit disappointed, especially given how much McCree we saw him play yesterday. Or not yesterday, but last week. Oh well.
All right.
Can't always get you on
Yeah,
X.
I know. Well, defensively, though, they're going to come out of spawn, and I imagine this is what their heroes are going to look like. It is going to be Canada on the Diva. Disclaimer, will play the defensive Reinhardt, Bikeage on McCree, Wowzer on Lucio, Tyrant, Taco on Zenyatta, and Dragon on Soldier 76.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Looking at the offense from MVP Space Hex. And, okay, let's start the tried and true and work our way down. But we have MVP Kuki on Diva. No surprise there, Diva really, really good in this meta. MVP Poro on the Genji. Again, no surprise seeing him. McCree doesn't even bear explanation for MVP June. No, okay, so they were mixed up. Thankfully, it's going to be Poro on the McCree. June's going to be on the Mercy. Pelka will be on the Zenyatta. Dejun is going to be on the Hanzo. And, ladies and gentlemen, Sylph is showing Ana right now. We don't know if it's going to stay here. Offensive teams do like messing with us. But for now... All right.
I mean, you did a
good
job.
There you have it. We got trolled as casters. It happens. We always know it's a risk when looking at the offense, but instead of Ana, it's going to be Lucio. But completely understandable, especially given how teams have found Ana to be played here this far.
All right, so defense, there's a couple options when you're holding on defense. You can hold all server, all top, or a hybrid. It looks like they're running a hybrid.
Time to raise my APM.
And actually, Poro, in the end, they did do a final switch-up. Poro went to the Genji, June went back to McCree, so I wonder if they were messing with this or they just weren't sure what they wanted to run until the very end. Now I'm confused.
Yeah. So, first point cap, first point does not matter at all on this map.
Alrighty, well, the defense holding pretty far back, almost reminiscent of the old Crossfire defense coming out here from the Kingsmen. We'll see if it pays off. Not opting for a server room stack, just using 76 and McCree poke to their advantage. But McCree gets singled out in the server room. It's going to be a quick kill coming out from the Winston. And MVP Space now just getting to work here on this defense. Down goes the Diva mech. They're rushing the top together as a team. They get 3 kills here thus far, and they're going to just continue with the pickoffs. And roll? Yeah, they're rolling to the next point. Nothing really flashy, just good solid mechanical play, starting out from a single pickoff of McCree in the server.
I think it was just bad positioning by the McCree there. I was going to say he got singled out, but he just shouldn't have been there. Yeah. He was all alone, and he got walked in on by 2 tanks. It's down again.
Poro right now just piling on here with the Genji, able to take out Bike Age, gets the Lucio, has Dragon Blade at the ready for even more death stalling because he's 3 members of his team are back on the payload, very far away, but Poro still moving really deep in, is going to get punished by Canada. So that is the downside about Genji, is that he doesn't have a whole lot of options when Winston's on him, aside from hoping that his dash can get him out of harm's way.
Yeah, it's just been the tanks putting on so much pressure. I mentioned this a little bit yesterday too, but with Diva like firmly in the meta, it reminds me of the double Winston meta, because you can kind of stagger those abilities. The mobility, they're similar enough that they can act like 2 Winstons.
Oh, Dragon able to take out Dejun here for the defense, but the offense better with Altier, activate both Transcendence and Sound Bear at the same time. A little bit of ult overlap, but here comes Poro on the Dragon Blade, slicing and dicing. Gets a backline, looks for the 96, 1 slice away, gets Dragon. And just like that, MVP Space, they are going to make enough room for them to get to this next checkpoint. And really, the Kingsmen haven't been able to do a whole lot to stop this onslaught coming out from the MVP Space side. It started out with 1 bad McCree pick, but ever since then, they've never really had a point where they can say, okay, we've stabilized and we can really work on our position for the next fight.
He gets in trouble on the Diva, gets desuited. The moment he's in trouble, here comes the Winston to save him. It is just a thing of beauty watching tanks work together like that. The scoreboard, if it existed, would be about 21-1 right now, kills in favor of Space. MVP is crushing it.
Yeah, no, they've been doing super well. And I think one thing I'd like to see in Overwatch a little bit more is that when teams lose a fight, I think that they go up and poke a little bit too heavily. Chaining deaths is the worst thing to do as a defense, but here comes the defense. They are moving in here with the Winston. They're going to pop Primal Rage. They don't have a whole lot to combo with it, but Bike Age takes out Pelka in the back, abuses Zenyatta's large hitbox to his advantage.
There we go, now
2 kills here from the defense, and they should be able to push this back. June is still in the back, does take out the Winston, but it's still a lot of momentum here for the defense. The danger for them, though, is that you don't want to overextend. Just back up a little bit, don't go crazy. And for Bike Age, just be safe, as he takes out Poro with the double shot. So good stuff coming out from Bike Age, and now defensive, they back up. They should be able to stabilize and buy themselves some very valuable time.
Yeah, they held where they needed to here too, because this is a decent spot to hold. It's somewhat of a choke point here, trying to come up this ramp. Not a whole lot of flanks or different angles you can take as an offense, but he's just going to get this slow push. He's going to take the space they're giving to him for free.
Winston once again pushing very deep in, looking for the Zenyatta, might be able to get him, but Daejun punishing Dragon pretty quickly in the other backline. June able to protect his backline. 4 kills here for MVP Space, and they're just gonna move this right back over as Daejun on the Winston, able to pick up the double kill. Good Winston play coming out here. And now this is gonna be do or die for the defense. The defense will have one moment to sort of get out and stall, but it's not a great look. It's gonna be very unlikely that they beat this back.
He just can't dive in as Winston anymore. Canada tried, he learned the hard way.
And D.Va right now, gonna buy even more space, pushes them back into their spawn. 2 extra kills here for MVP Space. And Bike Age, he's going for the last-ditch Deadeye, but deflection, D.Va Matrix in his face, nothing you do there, and the defense just can't get out of their spawn room, at least not from that side. As MVP Space piling on the kills for the people that do get out. Down goes Bike Age. Pelka just laying an orb after orb right now on the Zen. And you talk about McCree's cleanup. Zen's cleanup is pretty darn good if he's not getting focused.
Yeah, of course, one of the big buffs is that his Discord Orb is nearly instantaneous now. It is just target after target getting fired down. His base damage is lowered, but when you're in these environments of coordinated team kills, that purple dot might as well just be a bullseye on someone's back. You get discorded, it's a miracle if you're able to live through it. Or 49 on that Gibraltar offense.
Poro doing us a huge favor and just telling us the time to begin with. So casters, we don't even have to do math here. This is awesome.
I mean, maybe he's watched the stream and doesn't trust us to do the math. Not me in
He's
particular.
just like, look, you guys are going to screw us over on time if we leave it to you. This isn't me helping you. This is me protecting myself.
For the sake of accuracy.
I know how the North American education system is. All right, so now you just turned a good gesture into what could just be a very judgmental gesture.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hex.
Well, sorry. I see the bad side of all things.
Well, speaking of what might be the good side, let's take a look at what MVP Space is going to be showing us here on their defense. It will be rolling out here on the red side. It's going to be MVP June on McCree, MVP Kuki on the D.Va, Sylph on Lucio, Pelka on the Zenyatta, Poro on a defensive Genji once more, and Daejun going to be on Winston. And one change up we're seeing here from MVP Space is that Daejun was almost exclusively on Zarya last week, but now not a Zarya in sight, not running her in this meta, instead opting to run double tank with Winston D.Va. So I still think Zarya is still plenty good in this map. One of the few things that can actually protect you against McCree, but yeah, she's not. Maybe she'll go away from the. She wasn't must-pick status, but she was picked in an awful lot of games last patch.
Zarya is one of those interesting heroes that, since Beta 1, like day 1 of closed beta, she's been viable in almost every comp. Not always the best pick, but never the worst pick. You can just put her in anything and be like, okay, we know what we're going to get out of her. So I think it's fine. We saw some of her yesterday, too, in some clutch moments, too. But definitely see her on King of the Hill if we end up going there today. Offensively, Tired Taco will be on Zen, Disclaimer on D.Va, Dragon on 76, Canada A on his Genji, Bikeage on McCree, Wowzer on Lucio. They're holding much further forward.
They're holding pretty far forward here, especially for an offense. Poro takes out Bike Age immediately with a bit of long-range Genji spam, so that's a little bit rough. And you see Pelka here in the back just marking things down with Zen. The power here is that you can really isolate things for your offense. Daejun dives right in, takes out the Zen, and this is something you're going to be seeing a lot. Winston's going on Zen is going to be a mainstay of this meta right now, I feel, along with other components, but again, 2 kills here for MVP Space being piled on. Daejun perhaps a little bit far in, but will be able to leap out as Poro just going on a rampage, gets the triple kill in the hallway. And now I can see why Poro was on the McCree, because more than likely he's probably the only person on their team that can really play a top-notch Genji, and even though he might have the best McCree, his Genji difference is probably even larger, so that's why he's on the Genji here, if I had to guess.
Yeah, it looks like they don't even want to let him get first point here. It's trying to make a statement. We've seen kind of really powerful teams in these lower rounds just decide that we're just going to bully people around and kind of show people what we have.
Dragonblade on the way. He goes to the backline looking for both Zen and the McCree. Focuses the McCree first, takes him out, is aided by Daejun leaping in right behind him. And that's actually a combo we saw a lot in the previous patch, is that Winston with Genji is really good because Winston gets damage on his leap, gets damage from his left click right away, and Genji gets a lot of free damage on his engage with Swift Strike, so the two dive in at the same time. It can be absolutely brutal burst on targets without mobility like your McCrees and Zenyatta's in the backline.
Yeah, absolutely. They did ninja that cart to the first point though, so it's going to at least extend the timer.
Oh, big deflection here coming in from Poro, but he bites off more than they get Chew, ends up tasting Zenyatta's foot instead, so they're going to be down Poro for a little bit. Defense should adapt here, go a little bit further back, but X, they're still staying up forward. They have no fear. Dragon Blade right now coming out here from Canada A, gets taken out in turn, June having none of it, and even down Poro, they're able to hold this out here, and this has to be a little bit vexing for the Kingsmen right now.
I forgot how funny Zenyatta's death scream is, just because we hadn't seen him play in so long. He goes down there to the D.Va ult, and, you know, oddly enough, they've been ninjaing this cart pretty far. The defense has to stop holding as far forward as they were.
Yeah. I mean, on one hand, it's good on the defense to get a little bit of ninja there, but on the same note, they're also not really close to capping this either. MVP Space can just hold further back in a more regular defensive position. It's not necessarily bad, though.
Right. But, I mean, it does at least give them some ground on the offense. Now they're in position where they can take the high ground at least without getting murdered before they get up there.
Oh, yeah, note, by the way, Poro does have another defensive Dragon Blade up and at the ready. Kuki being pretty far up for D.Va. D.Va can do that, and oh no. That was body block for a second, had the shift right out of it. Soundbearer coming out here from the offense. They're making their move right here, right now. Meanwhile, Poro, without caring the world, is in the backfield, immediately slices down Dragon, looking for more prey, drops down. Tyrant Taco has to blow Transcendence to deal with that, but the problem is that, okay, he saved his life with the Transcendence, but so many people are dead on the offense here, Hex. I'm not sure that was the right move. They're very certainly going to lose this fight, barring a miracle.
Soundbarrier was a little wonky, too. It seemed like Wowzer was on his own plan there. He's like, I'm going to push the cart in Soundbarrier. Then everyone else wasn't really in position to take advantage of it. By the time they would be in fighting position, that Soundbarrier would have been gone already. Nadia biting off way more than he can chew right now. He's in the back line and discorded. He goes down.
Here comes Dragon, stringing to fight a little bit late, pops attack visor, but going to get thoroughly countered by the Soundbearer. 3 extra kills here coming in from the side of MVP Space. Pelka being some serious cleanup, but again, power of Zen right now is that it's not just McCree that's cleanup, Zen can be really good cleanup as well in those sorts of situations. Once Discord is on you, Zen orbs are just devastating.
Yeah, he's very frightening to try to get to as a solo backliner, a Genji or a Tracer, but we put him with a team as well. And like that Discord, you don't even have to use comms when you have Discord. Just, hey, see the guy with purple on his head? Shoot him.
Well, that just happens there. Pelka able to take or be taken out by Bike Age. Dragon Blade does come out from the offense, so they're putting all their cards on the table once more.
Close. It's best they looked.
Bike Age and a little bit of troll though, just getting bounced around by Winston. Can't do it and gets killed by a deflect by Poro. It wasn't even his own bullet. Teammates not doing Bike Age any favors there. Poro on the double kill, pulls out the Dragon Blade late to the fight, looking in the back line, looking for Lucio. Not able to slice him out before he hits the ground, but still kind of a panic Soundbearer. I don't
like it at all.
Like how Kingsman is using their ults right now. They're using panic support ults and just better than die.
Or wait and pull back a little bit. Here's the 3 that were already dead when that Soundbarrier came off. Now they're all alone and they're going to get hunted down in the back lines here.
Well, the one thing that's worth noting here is that we've been looking at the in-game timer, but you look at the overall stopwatch timer, this game is over, Hex. There's 5 seconds left on the clock. The payload cannot be brought that far. It is mathematically impossible. So, ladies and gentlemen, MVP Space, they will get through the round of 64 here, and they'll be moving on to the round of 32. So, pretty good showing from them here this far, and it's hard to say definitively, but it does feel like they've come in a little bit stronger this week, X.
Yeah, hard to say against some of these teams that we don't know much about early on, but I mean, the fact that they held them so far forward is kind of just, it's a statement from MVP Space. We've seen teams like Creation do this to lower level teams as well, just kind of having fun at the other team's expense, unfortunately.
Well, Canada pulling out the Dragon Blade towards the end, going to get sniped out by MVP June. And you might be saying, well, he's McCree, how's that sniping? Trust me, McCree in this patch, it's sniping. That is not a revolver, that is a railgun. Do not be fooled. Still though, the match is officially over. We're just going to let time run out here from the players. You see the D.Va coming in, but man, big headshot coming out from June, takes her out immediately. And again, you take a look, I mean, this is where overtime they sort of have to do it anyways, but the Transcendence comes out after they're down someone. We'll see if MVP Space can clear out this last push before we call it officially. Looking pretty good though. Cookie gets in, is able to take out the Zen. Zones on the point, and it's up to Dragon on the point, but 76 alone on the point, not usually aggressive looking. Here comes Dragon Blade for Pro. This should be the finisher. Slices out Wowzer. Able to clear up the payload, and this is going to be it.
Yeah, new overtime rules. That Wick's going to start burning pretty quickly. No one even to contest there. That is GG. MVP Space will move on. They will face the winner of Raised versus Supernova Esports. I think what we should maybe do, and we'll look at the bracket momentarily, is We United is playing right now and Selfless is playing right now. They are on a collision course to each other, and then the winner of that will likely play MVP Space if they win their next game.
Yeah, that would be a good game to go to. We United, of course, new team in the scene, but a lot of veteran talent on it. Selfless, similar deal, where they've sort of been trying to be a new dark horse in the scene. So yeah, We United versus Selfless, that's going to be an amazing game. I absolutely want to get on that. And the fact that the winner plays MVP space, that is even better,
Yeah,
Hex.
it's all likely. Of course, upsets can happen. I mean, I expect Selfless and We United to win these matches early on. And then winner will play whoever wins. Yeah, MVP space has a game in between that one and this, and what they just played. So we'll see. But I think the MVP space should be able to move on there. But that looks like the best line of games to follow for the moment anyway.
No, I'm super happy with that lines. Seeding sometimes works out pretty well. Bear in mind that it is a double elimination bracket here today, so getting taken out does not mean the end of your tournament run. The Kingsmen are not eliminated just yet, but they will have to go through a long fight in the lower bracket, which is rough because the lower bracket is mostly best out of ones, just for time's sake. You can't really do 2 out of 3s throughout everything, or we would just be here all day.
Yeah, we're already